going to look at an addendum to adding and multiplying base B integers. So just as a reminder, binary, if we're going to do binary addition, binary just looks at 0 and 1. So when I'm adding binary numbers, 0 plus 0 will give me 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 0 is 1, okay? And here's where things are a little different. If I have 1 plus 1, we're going to write that as 1, 0. Okay? So what are we actually going to write down? We're going to write down a 0 and carry the 1, which is in front, to the first column. Next, let's look at 1 plus 1 plus 1. We can kind of group this as 1 plus 1. So this 1 is here. Then our 1 plus 1 is kind of like our 10 or our 1, 0. So we write that second one down and we carry the first one. This is where we had a little confusion in class. Let's look at if I am adding 4 ones. We're going to group this as 1 plus 1 and 1 plus 1. So what is that? That's 1, 0 and 1, 0. So we're going to write the 0, but this time, since I have 2 of them, we're going to carry 2 ones. All right? So likewise, if I'm adding 5 ones, we're going to group the ones together. Okay? And plus this one, so that's this one here. And we're going to write the last one and carry the 2 ones again. We would continue this method, and so what we're going to do is we're going to use this strategy of grouping together 1 plus 1s, and when I have this, I'm going to continue however many groups I have, I'm going to add the 1 to the next column. Multiplication is much simpler. So we have, of course, 0. Sorry, let me go back. Okay, we'll have 0 times 0 is 1, 0 times 1 is 0, 1 times 0 is 0, and then 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, we won't in any combination get another number other than 0 or 1, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay. So now this is the problem that we looked at in class. I am going to do the addition, which is simple, which we have already done, and then we're going to correct the multiplication that we saw in class on yesterday. Okay, let's look at adding these two binary numbers. So I've put the legend in the corner for us to remember. So if I do 1 plus 1, we see that's 1, 0. Okay, so we write the 0 and carry the 1. Now remember, what we're going to do is group sets of 1s. So we can group these 2 1s, okay? And that's our 1, 0 plus this 1 here. So that's our 1 plus 1 plus 1. So we would write the 1, this last one, and then carry a 1. Again, we're going to group 2 1s. So we'll write 1, carry a 1. 1 plus 0 and 0 is 1, okay? 0 and 1. 1, 0, and 1, 1, and then 1 and 1 is our 10. So this is our addition of these two binary numbers. Now we're going to look at multiplication. For the sake of the time, the first part, I'll just go through the first couple of lines, which we can do. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 0. 0 is 1, 0, 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, since we notice all the lines with the 1s are going to be identical, and then the only one that changes is this line with the 0. Okay, now our goal is to add these rows together, and this is where we had the issues. Okay, so when we add this first column, we can just bring down our 1. Now we have a group of 2 1s, so that gives us 0, and we're going to carry 1. Now let's group together sets of 1s. So I have 1 set and 2 sets. So that's going to give us the 0, because this is this one here. Okay. 0, but I have 2 sets of 1s, so I'm going to carry 2 1s. So notice I put 2 1s. All right? So now, again, I have 2 1s here and these 2 that I've carried. So I'm going to bring a 0, and I'm now going to add 2 1s. This time I have 2 1s here, and then 2 1s here. We can exclude that. And so I write my 0, and where am I? This column. And then I add 2 1s. I got 2 here, 2 here. Okay, that's 0, add 2 1s. Now this column looks a little different. So I got 1 set, then I have another one here. So these 2 go together, and then I have another here. So since I have 3 sets, I'm going to have a 0, but this time I am going to add 1, 2, 3 1s. I'm carrying 1 for each one of those. So when I count my next one, I got 2 1s here, 2 1s here. Okay, so that is a 0, and then we're going to add what? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's group again. 2 sets of 1s. We got 2 sets of 1s here, 2 sets of 1 here, but I have 1 left over. So I'm going to bring down this 1, and for these 2, I'm going to bring over the 2 carries. So now I have 1 set of 2. So that's going to be 0, 1, another 1 set, 0, 1, another 1 set, 0, carry my 1. And then, of course, 1 plus 1 is my 10. And this is indeed the correct multiplication for these sets of numbers. So this is the problem that we worked in class. Please try to work another one of this. This is, I think, 22A, or was it 21A? One of these 2 problems, but work one of the B, C's, or D's. I think it's 21A. So in class, we didn't fully discuss, we only looked at base 2. Now I want to look at, because I think problem number 22 is base 3. So if we recall, base 3 is 0, 1, and 2. So these are all the combinations of additions of these values. So 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, 0 plus 2 is 2, 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, and now when I get to my 1 plus 1, this equals that 1, 0 again. Okay, so we put our 0 and we carry our 1. Okay, now 2 plus 0 is 2, 2 plus 1, again, this is the same case as above. Okay, now when I get to 2 plus 2, we're going to rewrite this. And when I rewrite this, I'm going to write it as this 2 plus 1. So if we remember, that's the 1, 0 in our 1. So what do? We write that last 1 and we carry the 1 that is coming from here. Okay? And we can continue this process by grouping. Now our grouping is going to be things of 2 plus 1. Now we're going to look at this example here. We're going to add and multiply these 2 numbers in base 3. Okay? This is actually number 22. I think it might be B. Okay? Check it out and then you can do some of the others examples. We're first going to look at adding these 2 numbers in base 3. So we do 1 plus 2. Okay? Remember our 1 plus 2, let me make that so you can see it, is the case where we have 0 carry the 1. And so here, remember we're going to do our groupings again. Okay, this is the 1, 0, but I have an additional 1, so I bring the 1 down, and I'm going to carry the 1 from here. Okay, now I have 1 plus 1, which is just 2. 2 plus 2, keep in mind, this is this case here. Okay? When I do 2 plus 2, I have 2 plus 1, and we have an additional 1. Okay? And then we're going to carry the 1 that was from the 2 plus 1. And now 1 plus 1 is 2. And this is the addition of this number, base 3. Okay, I'm going to actually do this multiplication out so that we are clear on how we're doing this. Okay, so 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is kind of like the 4. But how can we break down the 4? We can break it down into 3 and 1. Okay, and so that's going to be the 1, and we're going to carry over the 1 from the next column. 2 times 0 is 0, but we have to add 1 to that, so that'll be 1. Okay, 2 times 2 again is the 4. We can rewrite 4 as addition as 2 plus 1 plus 1. So again, that's going to be our, going to be 1 and carry the 1 from the 2 plus 1 part. And then 2 times 1 is 2, and we add a 1 to it. So again, 2 plus 1 is 0, 1. Good thing with 1s is that the numbers are going to stay the same. So we'll have the 1, 2, 0, 2. Oh, let me make sure that looks right. I'm rewriting this so it's a little cleaner, so it's lined up. So we got 1, 2, 0, 2, 1. And then the next line is this times this 1 here. So it'll also be 1, 2, 0, 2, 1. And the last column times 2, I can just actually rewrite this first row because we've done that already. So it'll be 2, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. Okay, so remember when we get ready to add, this is what we're going to be looking for combinations of 1 plus 2, okay, or things that add up to 3. So, of course, we know that 3 is not one of our numbers, but that's how we're going to group them because that's not 1. It'll go over to the 1, 0. So 2, we can just bring it down. 1 plus 1 is 2. Now we have a grouping. We have a 1 plus 2 and we have an additional 1. We're going to bring this 1 down, and this 1 grouping will bring 1 to the next column. Okay, so now when I group, I have, let's take this 1 with this 2. Okay, they come together, this 1 with this 2. So now I have 2 sets of this 1 plus 1. So doesn't have an extra remainder, so I bring my 0. But now I'm going to add 2 carries. Okay, we're going to do this again. This time I have a 2 and a 1 here. So that's my grouping. Okay. But now these 2 ones here are just going to give me 2 because 2 is a part of my universe. Okay. But then I have to carry the 1 from here. So now let's group again. We got 3 1s here. Okay, and then 2 and a 3 here, 2 and a 1 here. So we have 2 groupings. So we're going to have a 0 and carry our, how many are we carrying? We should carry 2, right? Because we got 1 right here and 1 right here. Good. So now 1 grouping plus an additional 1. So we'll write that 1 there, and it's only 1 grouping, so I carry the 1. Then 1 plus 0 is 1, and then 1. And this is the multiplication in base 3. And we can take this and take it to any base using this scheme. In this class, we will not go above we will only be looking at base 2 and base 3. So I want you guys to revisit numbers 21 and 22, okay, and try to work some problems.